All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel, right? So I want to entitle this lesson, Give Not Thy Strength Over to Women. And I want to kind of speak on the Sherrone Moore scandal. Now, or Sherrone Moore. So like let me fix that spelling. Now, Sherrone Moore was the head coach of the University of Michigan's football program. And what came out was that he was, allegedly, I don't want to say allegedly, this is apparently what he was doing, but he was so-called cheating on his wife, right? But he was also cheating on his wife with a University of Michigan staff member, which goes against school policy, and that went against his contract, right? And he ended up being fired from his position and fired with cause, right? And what that means is his contract that would still be in effect for however long it was is now null and void, and he's not going to be getting paid out the rest of the money from his contract, right? See, like typically it's kind of like the NBA. You know, a player gets a contract for, let's say, 5 years for like, $25 million or whatever, right? Well, if the team lets that player go, they still have to pay him the money from the rest of his contract, right? And it's the same thing with these head coaches for these schools. You know, if, let's say, he was underperforming, he would still have to be paid out, or Salakia. Let's say he was underperforming, like he didn't get as many or enough wins that they wanted to get for him to get, and they fired him, right? But they would still have to pay out the rest of the money for his contract, right? Let's say he had, a $25 million contract for 5 years, but let's say he had 2 years still left on his contract. They would still have to pay him the rest of the money for that 2 years, right? Now, in this situation, they're not going to pay him because he violated school policy by having a sexual relationship with a woman who was a University of Michigan staff member, right? And then also, allegedly, there was an assault that happened shortly after the news that he was fired, and now he's arrested. He done crashed out over the box. You know what I'm saying? And you can go ahead and look this story up. I don't have the article right now, but you can look up the story. That's kind of the gist of what happened. And it's a Jake. You know what I'm saying? It's a Israelite man. And but this is what the scriptures warn about when dealing with women. And you never know. Like he could have been dealing with this woman, and you never know. It could be some shit, and I'm just speaking as a man. Could have been some stuff where she's like, I want you to leave your wife for me. And he like, nah, I ain't leaving my wife for you. And you know what I'm saying? She could have blew up the spot or whatever, right? And it's not wise to mess up or to mess around with a woman at your job anyway. It's not really wise to do that, because if the situation goes bad, she can, you know what I'm saying, come back and say anything. She could say you assaulted her, or, y'all had an inappropriate relationship, and they're going, she's the woman, they're going to take her side. So it's best not to, deal with women on the job, because I'm pretty sure when it comes to, him so-called cheating, they probably didn't really care about that. They probably people will probably look at it with shame, or, look down on him. But it's like, if he just left it at dealing with just women outside the job, or didn't have anything to do, with the school program or nothing like that, or, he probably still have his job, and, it might just be a situation where it's in the news and they just shaming him or whatever, but he probably still have his job, right? But he made the decision, and you got to think about it too, he's in a prestigious position as the University of Michigan's head football coach. So, just off of that, there's potentially women that's going to want to fuck with you because of the position that you're in, your status, right? The issue comes in is where you got to have control over yourself, and you got to have control over these situations. Not every woman is a woman that you should deal with. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good it looks. So it's a lot of women out here, man, that you just gotta, hey, keep her moving. Look at her, admire the booty, the booty and the beauty, and just be like, nah, you know what, that ain't for me. But it was good. It was good to look at, right? It was cool to look at, but it ain't for me. But let's go ahead and get into the scriptures, because the scriptures speak on these things, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, starting at verse 1. It says, in the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him, what, my son, and what, the son of my womb, and what, the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings, right? It says, give not thy strength unto women. Let's look at this word strength. It says strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army, ability, efficiency, wealth, force, and army, right? And that can go into your mind, your emotions, your wits, especially when it comes to your money. It says, give not thy strength over to women. Meaning, don't be so caught up with women and trying to get box, trying to get the punani, you know what I'm saying, the poom poom, to where you mess up your life by doing it. You know what I'm saying? You mess up your life, you mess up your money, you mess up your family situation. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these women don't give a damn if, you know what I'm saying, you crash out because of them. Or you crash out for the sake of, trying to get with her. A lot of these women, they look at that as that's an ego boost. Look what I had this nigga doing. I had this nigga in his prestigious position crashing out over this thing. And that's not the position that you want to be in as a man, especially as brethren. Hey, even men who are in this truth. Brother Arad tell us stories about, the old St. Louis camp, where it was a couple of brothers who were in the camp, but they left because of the sake of their woman. You know what I'm saying? They left because of their woman didn't like them being in the truth. The woman was trying to control them, and they was too caught up in pleasing the woman. And her influence pulled her out the truth. If anything, really, brothers, you should have influence over her. You should be influencing her. And if anything, your influence should pull her into the truth. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying try and do that, or try and force any woman that you're dealing with to come into this thing, because who it's for is who it's for. It may not be for her. But all in all, it shouldn't be the other way around. Your woman shouldn't be influencing you to do anything. You should more so be influencing her to do, you know what I'm saying, to follow your path and walk in your way, right? It's the book of Sirach. Oh, Salakia, no. Ecclesiastes, I'm tripping. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. And I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, I applied mine heart, this is Solomon speaking, I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets and her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her, right? It says, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets and her hands is bands, right? A woman who her motive is to get you and not get you in a good way. She want to fuck your life up. She want to put that. See, a lot of these women, man, they do, they do this voodoo magic. It was a video that the brothers put in the chat. There's one Eve putting vaginal yeast in a cake. It was sick. She took her drawers. She took her drawers, her nasty, dirty, stanky, funky drawers, put it in the freezer, and I guess I don't know if she discharged on them or what, but she put that joker in the freezer, froze them, took them out, and scraped that joint into some cake batter and gave it to a dude. And a lot of these women do that in the name of witchcraft, right? Because they think that doing those types of things, putting that type of sex magic on you, that's going to, get a dude to be hooked on them, caught up on them, have a dude in the particular way that they want them and everything like that, right? And sometimes it'll work. It'll work on these dudes who, they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah on them. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures say, there shall no enchantment. Let me go find that. Before I put you. Yeah. Numbers chapter 23 and 23, it says, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath Yahweh wrought, right? So there shall be no enchantment against Jacob, right? But that's speaking on those who got the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah on them. For these cats in the world, and these dudes who, you know what I'm saying, you value vagina over your manhood and over, you know what I'm saying, your own well-being and over the things that you have. A woman, she gonna get you. She gonna put that cuckoo yeast in some cake and some muffins, and you gonna be sitting up there and you thinking she just being sweet. This girl just baked you a cake or some cookies or something, and you sitting up there eating them and you're like, good, right? And next thing you know, you crashing out over this motherfucker. You sitting you sitting outside her house, sitting outside her apartment, just looking at the window. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even trying to get in the house. You just standing outside the window just looking. Looking like motherfucker. And then she come out and she see you and you walk off. And you just, you know what I'm saying, you done lost your mind over this broad. Right? It's happened before. It's happened to certain men. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you don't want to do, right? But the scripture said what? Whoso pleaseth Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah shall escape her. So when you got this truth, and when you got the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah on you, and you're pleasing, you're doing the works that are pleasing to the Lord, man, the Lord is going to turn your paths to where these types of women, you don't even run into them. And if you do, you know what I'm saying, it might be a situation where it's a chick, you try to holler at her, but then it's like, I tried to holler at her, but the situation just didn't work out. You either left her or she left you or whatever the situation may be, it just didn't work out. But, it didn't. A lot of times these situations between us brothers and women, and certain particular women, they don't work out for the better. You know what I'm saying? the Lord sees something on that woman and she deems her not fit for you to deal with, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to have when it comes to dealing with women. We got a spiritual defense system. The Lord is going to make sure he protects us and looks out for us so that we don't end up in these situations, right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, and I'm going to skip down to verse 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies, right? Skip down to 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, right? So if you are, you know what I'm saying, you not right with the Lord, you can be given over to, an evil, wicked woman. And all these women, man, they got a aspect of wickedness with them, right? But when you're dealing with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right, and you're pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, even particular women that you deal with, man, the Lord, help regulate her spirit to a certain degree. She might be crazy, because they all crazy. Best believe that. They all fucking crazy, But she might be crazy, but the Lord may regulate her spirit to where, certain things she don't do. She might say some off the wall shit, but she don't never take action, because the Lord ain't gonna put the spirit on her to take action against you. He just, because the Lord afflicts us through the women that we have. You know what I'm saying? The Lord sometimes allows Satan to put the spirit on her to, go haywire sometimes. And sometimes, these are the things that we got to deal with. Scriptures say we should have trouble in the flesh. And it's just a part of the condition of the battle, especially when you're dealing with women. You got, these women got emotions. Some of these women are just straight up slaves to their emotions. And, they can't help themselves sometimes. But it's just a part of them being a woman, right? But
sign into your vehicle before driving.
But the best thing for you is just really just pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that if you, desire to deal with a woman, that he, sends you a woman who, is at least somewhere right, It's the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 7. It says, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion, right? So a scorpion, man, that thing got that tail on it, that joint sting you, it got venom in it, can kill you. That's the same thing as you got an evil wife. She gonna burn you, she gonna fuck you up in more ways than not. And women are very subtle. Women are very subtle in how they move, because they can't move with brute force like a man can. So she gotta have some subtlety to her, right? She got to be, sneaky to a degree when she does certain things, right? So you got to watch out for these things. These are things that you got to watch out for when dealing with a woman. And I'm a big proponent on, brothers, when you deal with women, when you meet them, when you first meet them, man, don't be asking this bitch where you want to go, what you want to do. You want to go, don't be taking these bitches out on dates to go eat. You know what I'm saying? Don't be taking them out now I'm talking about when you first meet them. Like, if you've been dealing with her for a few months or whatever, okay, cool. But when you first meet them, man, don't be buying her no food. Don't be, giving her money for no bills. Don't be doing none of that shit with her. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, give her some instructions. Tell her what to do. And I ain't saying ask for nothing exorbitant. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, go, you know what I'm saying? Go in here, take some money out your check and go pay this bill for me. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you, like, hey, look, you want to take a woman on a date, number one, you should be taking her to get a smoothie, some ice cream, or a drink, or to the park or something, or some hot cocoa. You know, it's wintertime. Something light, something that you ain't gonna spend no more than $15, $20 on, right? And somewhere where you can talk to her. You know, you can have a conversation with her, right? And really see if she really like you. You know what I'm saying? See if this woman really like you. Number one, if she follows your instructions, you tell her, hey, meet me here at this time, at this place, and this is what we gonna do. And wear something I like. Wear this, right? Or wear this color. If she does it with no question, hey, she might, you know, you might have something on your hands. But if she giving you all this pushback, well, I would like to go out to, I think we should go to this restaurant and go try this food and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Nah, let her go. Let her go. She don't like you like that. She don't like you like that, and she's not, her intentions are not good. She don't want to just, her intentions are not just to be in the presence of somebody she likes. She's trying to get something out of you. These are just, you know, a few ways where you can vet and screen women, and especially when you first meet them. You know what I'm saying? And she got to show some consistency. She got to come through every single time, right? But let's go here. First Esdras, chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 14. And it reads, it says, O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it that then ruleth them, or have lordship over them? Are they not women, right? And speaking on simps, you know, women have rulership and lordship over simps, suckers. You know, dudes who are caught up over, you know, a woman's beauty. The scriptures say, you know, look not at a woman's beauty and seek her not for pleasure. Don't be getting caught up on how good she look. She got them big old boobies. She got that big old booty. You know what I'm saying? She got them, you know how these women be coming out the house. You know what I'm saying? She wear them pants that, you know, she walking, you see that.
Please sign into your vehicle before driving.
This thing doing this more often and often now. But, you know, she walk out the house, and she got them pants on, and she walking in that thing talking. You know what I'm talking about. And you just looking at it like, you marveling at her like, man, I got to get me some of that. And you know what I'm saying? What I got to do to get it. That ain't the mindset to have. Now, if you want to go and say, hey, what's up? You know, I want you to take my number. We can go out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But any uncooperation, you got to be of the mindset. You know, the first sign of a woman not cooperating is the first time you got to let her go. Let her walk, right? Verse 15, women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman, which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her, right? You marveling at her because of how good she looked. You being a sucker. And women can tell when you got that type of energy, man. They can tell. They have been trained, you know what I'm saying, by a lot of times from their mothers, aunties, sisters, or sometimes they just figure this out on their own. But to see, you know, if you the type of dude who's so caught up over how good she looked and trying to get some box, if she can run game on you or not, right? And it says, and have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever? A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticks not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father, nor mother, nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not toil? Do ye not labor and toil, and give and bring all to the woman, right? And again, that's talking about simps and suckers. You shouldn't be working hard for a woman or to get women. You should be working hard for yourself to take care of your own responsibilities. If you got a family, to take care of your family. If you got kids, to, you know what I'm saying, get your kids what they need. But you should never work, go get a good job or start a business or anything because you want to make money to impress some bitches. Never should that be your motive. It says, by this also you must know, verse 23, yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, right? And that's kind of the energy that this dude Sherrone Moore had. You know what I'm saying? He crashing out over some booty. Some good white booty at that. Oh man, he crashed out. Verse 24, it says, and looketh upon a lion, and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women, right? And we see, a lot of dudes crash out because of that box, because of that thing, because of that nookie. A lot of dudes be crashing out for that, man. This lesson is to give you an example on why you shouldn't do that, because when you get so caught up on that thing, that nookie, that good, that yum, that punani, that poom, you know what I'm saying? When you get caught up on that, bad things happen. You lose things that are more valuable to you than that thing.
Please sign in to your vehicle before
you know what I'm saying? That cootie cat. So you got to remember, man, you got to remember what's important in your life. You got to have at least 5 things that you put before a woman. You know what I'm saying? Number 1 should be this truth. And then, you know what I'm saying, 4 others. Number 1 should be this truth. Number 2, if you got kids. Number 3, your finances. Number 4, your dog or the video game maybe. And then 5 comes the woman, right? Hey, you should have a list of things that you value before a woman, that you put before a woman. You know what I'm saying? And that way, man, you'll stay out of these particular situations, right? So I'm gonna end it right there, man. Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ruchak B'Dash. Shalom. Until next time.